So, welcome to Oversight After Dark. If you love James Comer at 11 o'clock in the morning, you're really going to love him at 8:30 p.m.
Republicans canceled hearings during the day because their members had to go give Donnie a blanket. He was cold and make him feel better about his wife being his life. He doesn't care about his wife. They don't even sleep in the same room. We learned that actually during this trial, but I digress. What ended up happening here was Jared Moskowitz and Jamie Raskin made Comer look like the fucking fool he is. He's such a goober. He's such a tool. He's such a stereotype of like a Southern lawyer.
Now, who's responsible for this unwarranted attack on my person?
He must love the fact that it's guys with names like Moskowitz and Raskin, and even a little bit Goldman, who went on TV recently, who are making fun of him. I can only imagine, well, you see, there's New York senses of humor are coming after me, and they're insulting me with their fake high IQs and their laughing ways and their globalism, and I just can't take that no more. I'm sure it was something like that.
Got a mouth like an outboard motor. All the time.
I mean, Comer's just sitting there shell-shocked, and Jared Moskowitz should be a comedian. Here's what he had to say.
So, members, the hearing was moved today. We don't have to ask the question. The hearing was moved today so that members could go to New York and attend the Trump hearing. But how's he doing? He's complained that he's chilly in the courtroom. Is it chilly? Is it chilly?
Will the gentleman yield?
No, I'll assume it's
He's
chilly.
doing very good.
Okay, good. So, it was mentioned by the ranking member about really what we're doing here. You don't have to listen to my words. I would like to do a spirited reading of the campaign email sent out by the chairman. And it's on lovely stationery. In fact, it says, from the desk of the oversight chairman. I'm not sure you can do that, but I'm not an ethics expert. It says, friend. President Biden is exerting executive privilege in a last-ditch attempt to stop the disastrous audio recording of his interview with special counsel from being released. And it's highlighted in yellow. Want to make sure people saw that. Just a few months ago, the White House bragged that Joe Biden had nothing to hide and would not exert executive privilege during special counsel Hur's investigation. They even said he had nothing to hide. That's in italics. Now Biden and his advisors are terrified that I, James Comer, will release the recordings, forcing the media and the Democrats to answer for the dismal decline of Biden's mental state. He even had attorney Merrick Garland write a letter saying that his interview falls within the scope of executive privilege. This could be the final blow with swing voters across the country. Okay. You and I know, hold on, we're not done, it gets better. You and I know he's not up for the job, but the mainstream's media refusal to report on it as only keeping him in the game. Stand with Comer. The Democrats, you sure about that? The Democrats are pulling out all the stops to stop the bleeding. That means coming after me with everything they had. If you're able, we hope you are, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider making a donation to my campaign. I sure need it to defend against the onslaught of attacks. Thank you for everything. James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Without objection, I'd like to enter that into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
All right, beautiful.
So as you saw, the best part, of course, is they don't care about the law.
I am the law.
They don't care about anything except for power, and power comes through Donald Trump. So they all kiss Donald Trump's ass, and they all raise money off the garbage they're doing. And the fact that Jared Moskowitz literally not only sat there and said, I mean, what a couple of great lines, like, get ready for late night with James Comer. If you love him at 11 in the morning, you'll love him at 8 at night. And, just the sarcasm of stuff like that, being sarcastic about Trump and their visit to him, and then going into that fundraiser, which you read. It was just hilarious. Comer sent out that fundraiser, of course, because all he cares about is raising money off of their attempt to impeach Joe Biden, which they've massively failed at. They have no evidence. They have nothing. Here's Jamie Raskin also grabbing the fundraiser that Comer sent out, and he sits right next to Comer, which just even makes it more of a knife in the ribs. And so let's give you a little bit of what Raskin had to say.
Mr. Chairman, I just got past something that the whole obstruction gimmick may just be a fundraising ploy, which demeans the overwhelming legal integrity and impressive theatrical ambitions of this enterprise. I was just handed a mass fundraising email solicitation for your campaign that you sent out this evening, Mr. Chairman, stating that, quote, Biden and his advisors are terrified that I will release the recordings, forcing the media and Democrats to answer for the dismal decline of Biden's mental state. This could be the final blow to Biden with swing voters across the country. The Democrats are pulling out all the stops to stop the bleeding. Signed, James Comer, Chairman, House Oversight Committee. Now, I must confess my disappointment to be handed this fundraising solicitation, signed by you as Chairman of the House Oversight Committee. I thought that you were serious about the legal enterprise here and not just another political huckster calling hearings to score cheap political points and to make a buck.
And finally, back to Moskowitz, who of course did what he's done numerous times, which just said, when are we going to have the impeachment?
Mr. Chairman, since you think this is the final blow, right, and obviously the chairman of Judiciary is here too, we only have June, July, and September before the election. We're not here in August and October. So, I mean, I'm sure the American people are paying attention at 11:30 p.m. where you buried this hearing because it's so important. When are we going to do the impeachment of Joe Biden? When is that going to happen? Is it going to be June? Is it going to be July? Is it going to be September? Let's just put it on the calendar. Let's just put it on the calendar. Pick a month. We're available. We were available at 11 a.m. You guys weren't. Just pick a month, right, so we can get it on the calendar and do the impeachment. So hold on. I'll give you choices. Ready? June. July. How about September? Okay. So we're never going to schedule this thing. It's never going to happen. He's sending out more subpoenas because he has no evidence. Okay. And yet here we go around and around and around. And so we get it. You'll raise money off of it. Congratulations to you.
He's like, when are we going to plan the impeachment? And he keeps doing that because he knows that Comer's full of shit. He's never going to plan an impeachment because he's got nothing. Of course, Comer went on television to prove what he had.
You got nothing!
And even Maria Bartiromo, that crazy lady, was looking at him in Fox like, what? Here you go with his explanation of how, well, we couldn't quite crack that nut when it came to Joe Biden, but we do have lots of footnotes.
You've made a couple of comments this morning. You said money laundering. You said bribery. You said influence peddling. Obviously, Mr. Chairman, these are very, very serious charges. And the White House is denying it. How will you prove it?
Yeah. Well, we're going to present the American people with a report, hopefully very soon. And there are going to be a lot of footnotes in this report.
3, 2, 1, oh.
And now you get to decide, who's a bigger ass, James Comer or Jim Jordan? I think it's a close race, and I'm about to do another video on a number of Democrats, Goldman, Plaskett, whatever, taking Jim Jordan apart for being maybe the last living male to have a bowl haircut, among other transgressions against decency. In any case, Comer's a joke, and that was great.